Locomotion and skeleton in vertebrates. In vertebrates, skeletal muscles and skeleton help in locomotion. Swimming in fishes. Swimming in water present very different problems from walking on land like man or flying in air like birds. The body of the most fishes is streamlined, being tapered at both ends. This means that water flows readily over the body surface and friction is reduced to a minimum. Apart from the fins, no other structure projects from the body of the fish, and it seems that faster the fish, the more perfect is the streamline. The dermal denticles of cartilaginous fish and the scales of bony fish are kept moist by slimy exudation from mucus or oil glands, and this also considerably reduces friction between fish and water. Other adaptations proceed by fish for moving efficiently through the water are the fins, the dorsal and ventral. Unpaired fins help to stabilize the fish. The paired pectoral and pelvic fins are used for steering and balancing the animals, and caudal or tail fin, in coordination with paired fins, provide forward movement or fish through water. Buoyancy in water is maintained by a specialized structure in bony fish called the swim bladder. Locomotion in amphibian. The general build of the body is essentially fish-like in amphibians. Such forms have two means of locomotion. They wriggle along their belly on the ground with the help of segmentally arranged muscles as they swim on land, with legs hardly touching the ground when moving deliberately. On the other hand, a few raise up their body on the legs, which then propel them along as movable levers. In the anurans, the entire skeleton and the muscular system has become specialized for the peculiar swimming and jumping methods of locomotion by means of extensor thrusts of both kinds of limbs acting together. Frogs and toads also walk and hop on land due to its strong hind limbs. Locomotion in reptiles. The lifestyle of reptiles reveals striking adaptations for locomotion. They move better than amphibians due to the evolution of skeleton. The reptiles use method of walking and running. The general form of the reptilian skeleton is based on one inherited from ancient amphibians. The skeleton is highly ossified to provide greater support. Reptiles have cervical vertebra. The first two cervical vertebrae, atlas and axis, provide greater freedom of movement for head. The axis is modified for rotational movement. The ribs of reptiles may be highly modified. Ribs of snake have muscular connections to large belly scales to aid locomotion. Many prehistoric reptiles were bipedal, meaning that they were on hind limbs. They had a narrow pelvis and heavy outstretched tail for balance. Bipedal locomotion freed the front appendages, which became adapted for prey capture or flight in some animals. Locomotion in air. The skeleton of a bird is modified for flight. The most obvious adaptations are the bones with large air spaces which make them lighter. The forelimbs evolved into wings which were very strong pectoral muscles which pull the wings up and down. The sternum is modified to form keel. The keel is needed for the attachment of muscles. The body is also covered with feathers which gives them wing, a large surface area to keep the birds in air. They also keep their bodies formed so that they can produce enough energy to fly. The body is streamlined to cut clearly through the air. The feathers lie smoothly against its body so that the air can easily flow over them. A bird can fly either passively by gliding or actively by flapping its wings. Passive flight: when birds glide, the wings act as aerofoils. An aerofoil is any smooth surface which moves through the air at an angle to the airstream. The air flows over the wing in such a way that the bird is given lift. The amount of lift depends on the angle at which the wing is held relative to the airstream. Active flight: when little or no support can be gained from the upward air currents, the same effect can be achieved by flapping the wings. As the birds move through the air, their air flows more quickly over the curved upper surface than over the lower surface. This reduces the air pressure on the top of the wing compared with the air pressure below the wing. There is, therefore, a net upward pressure on the wing which gives lift to the bird.